Hi, I'm so glad you've decided to join us today. This channel is all about the journey, where life is taking us, and the things that we do to get there. I want you to come with me and experience all these things together. Hey everybody, so today is day 30 of homeschooling, and we are just having a great time homeschooling. But I did tell everyone that I would do a 30-day reassessment, and I am staying true to my word. I actually wanted to do this earlier before 30 days, and I kind of did tweak some things before the 30 days. But I'm going to make it official now. I am changing up homeschool. Day 30. And there's just things that we've learned that work and things that we've learned do not work. So first, let's assess my youngest, Curtis. He is in 2nd grade, and we have been, the last 30 days trying to find what works best for him. He's the one that was struggling in public school the most, and so with him, it really has been a journey of figuring out what works, what kind of learning style he is, and all that kind of thing. So with him, we have taken him off of the easy peasy all-in-one homeschool, other than history and science, and he is working strictly out of workbooks now. He is very hands-on. He is not an independent worker at all. He needs me beside him almost 100% of the time. I'd say 90%, 95% of the time I have to literally sit right there. It's not the fact that it's like really hard work. It's just the fact that he wants me right there in case he needs me. I came into the bedroom the other day, and he came running to the bedroom. He was doing something super easy. I think he was doing like his writing or something. And he said, Mom, where did you go? I'm like, I just came to the bedroom to grab something. He's like, but you left me. And so he really does need me right there all the time with him. Whereas his sister is very independent. We'll talk about her in a minute. But so anyways, workbooks are going great with him. They're working out a lot better. Right now we're working through very quickly through a 1st grade level workbook, doing some of those basic reading comprehension, because his reading, he really is struggling in his reading from the previous year in public school. So we are catching him back up through all of that. So we went and purchased a 2nd grade level workbook, and I have that here. We just went to our local Barnes & Noble and got this grade 2 complete curriculum for Curtis. I plan on going back and getting Elizabeth a similar curriculum as well. So we're learning that he's more of a hands-on learner. He doesn't really do well when you sit him in front of a computer and have him punch the numbers. Now, he still really likes doing online games. He thinks that's fun. But if it's like, answer this problem, click in the answer and push in check answer, is not working for him. So we have started doing that with him. So Elizabeth, on the other hand, is very good at working independently. We have learned that she excels. If you just let her go, she will excel in whatever you kind of put her in. She has started working out of a poetry book for some of her language arts. So the poetry book that Elizabeth is using is called For the Love of Language. This is the book that I got. It's just one I found. I think someone suggested it on a feed or something. And at the time she was working on poetry, and I ordered it, and then they just kind of jumped away from poetry on the easy peasy, but the language arts that they were having her doing wasn't what I wanted her to be learning. So we just started doing this. There's lessons in here, and she reads the lesson, and then there's always something for her to write. So for her daily writing now, she does that, and for language arts, part of her language arts, she does that. She also loves getting books from the library. We've been going to the library more often, and we get books, and I've made her, at first she was getting books that were like, kittens and dogs, and they were little short books like from the kids section. This last time we went, I made her get chapter books because that's really her level, and I told her that she needs to be reading at her level. So we have started making her read at her level. I make her get the chapter books from the library. Okay, so Elizabeth is also doing the science and history off of Easy Peasy with Curtis. Now, let me talk about the science and history. It's great. We do the Bible portion of that as well. We don't strictly go off of what she does on that, but it's a great resource for having something to kind of follow in a guideline. We do usually do all of the things for science and history that she has, but we also get videos. We also do extra experiments on the side that we find on Pinterest. We do all these kind of things. We do extra videos for history. For art. For art, we don't follow her art. We started to, but it was sporadic, and it wasn't what I was wanting to teach them. So we have found a YouTube channel that we really, really like called Maddie and Dada. So check that out. I'll try to put the link down in the description box for you. So we watch those videos, and then what I've been trying to incorporate, which we've only done I think once in the amount of time we've been doing it so far, is whenever they learn about a certain style of painting or style of art, photography I think was one that they watched, then we tried to recreate that. So they had a lot of fun doing that, and I'll try to put some pictures in here for you guys to see. So let's talk about music. For their music, we have put them in music lessons. So once a week on Tuesdays, they go to music class. Curtis is in for drums. We were going to purchase a drum set. They were very expensive, but luckily one of our family had one in storage and gave that to us. And we got that set up this, let's say, I guess it's been a week or so ago. We set that up. Curtis has been practicing like crazy on the drums. Elizabeth has been excelling in a piano. The piano instructor said that she's doing great. They're just doing really well in music. So we used our music time for practice. So they get 30 minutes every day of music, no matter what. On Tuesdays, which is their piano and drum lessons, they do their 30 minutes of practice time at home, and then they also go to a 30-minute class. So they get an hour of music on Tuesdays. So we're using that for our music. We're also, when we go, we talk about certain countries, we will talk about the music that's there and that kind of thing for our music lessons each day. Okay, so something else I wanted to just quickly talk to you about is being able to use things that's going on in the community for homeschooling. So something that we did this past week was we took the kids to a powwow, which they talked about Indian history. We got to watch some dancing that they did. We got to go to all these vendors and booths, and they got to see like leather, them punching the leather and working with different materials and that kind of thing. So it was kind of neat to see what kind of materials that the Indians use. They got to actually touch it. So it was a really hands-on learning. Curtis was asking all kinds of questions. What's this, Mommy? Daddy, what's this? And so we were able to help him understand kind of their culture and what things are used for. And he thought the tomahawks was just so cool. Anyway, and they got a couple little souvenirs and that kind of thing from our little adventure. So being able to use stuff like that, incorporating that into our learning is really, really nice too. So try to use things that's happening in your community. We have, theaters coming up, and we're going to try to go to some little theater shows, and there's some music things going to be happening here pretty soon this fall. We're going to try to get the kids incorporated into that kind of thing as well. Letting the kids go outside and, get on our picnic thing. They did that actually today. Elizabeth just decided that she wanted to go outside. It's a pretty day. And so she went outside. She got on she got onto the sidewalk and was doing some of her poetry work, and then Curtis wanted to go out, so we got the picnic blanket out, and he was doing his writing, she was doing some reading. They want to stay out there all day, so after lunch, they're at lunch right now. After lunch, we're going to head out to the yard, and we're going to do some math with Curtis, and hopefully do some stuff with Elizabeth as well. They really like being outside and being able to have that option to go outside and do their work, so they're really excited about that. Another thing that we have started to incorporate, which kind of happened on accident, our church started doing some things with the kids and doing some more children's programs, and one of them is called Mission Impossible, and that's where the kids do community service and kind of learn how to be have a servant's attitude. And so we're kind of incorporating that. I haven't used that for any of our time, even though this last one we did was they went to a nursing home and they sang. They are also in the church choir, which I am going to start using that as a part of their music. It just dawned on me today that I can use that for a part of their music lesson. So they're part of the church choir. They went and they are doing community outreach, which could be considered an extracurricular activity. So I'm pretty excited, all these different things that I'm learning, that I can incorporate them into homeschooling, and I'm very excited that they are able to be a part of such a great church that's doing great things. But that's one more thing that you can do with homeschooling is use those outlets, whether it be church or maybe you have another group that you're involved in that does community type things like that. That's awesome. Do it. You can incorporate that right into your homeschool. I get asked all the time, how's homeschool going? It is really going great. We are really enjoying it. We love the flexibility of being able to, do whatever we need to get done. I will say, from my perspective as a mother, I love seeing my kids growing, and I love seeing them figuring things out, and I love being able to be a part of the whole process of them being able to learn. I will say that being a homeschooling parent, and something I'm still trying to learn, and I'm sure as we continue on in this homeschooling thing, I'm going to figure it all out. But right now, it's the finding time to do, things for myself and incorporating time for myself into, my week. So I'm just trying to figure that out right now, finding time for, me to have me time. But other than that, it's going great. I mean, there's not really anything I can complain about. My husband's very supportive. Everyone we've talked to is very supportive. We're just having a really, really good go at it, and I'm expecting it to just get better from here. And I want to encourage anyone who's thinking about homeschooling, if you're just watching this and you're like, I don't know if homeschooling is something I want to do, I just want you to kind of consider it. It's not something I ever considered doing until last year. And the Lord told me, that I needed to do it. And I would have, if you would have told me 2 years ago I would be homeschooling, I would have laughed at you. I was not the candidate to homeschool. But here I am, and I am homeschooling 2 children, and actually loving it. So this was my 30-day reassessment. It's going great. We're changing some things up. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe. We're going to be throwing more videos your way.